Okay, welcome to another episode of Crime Pays of Botany Dungeon. We're here in New Zealand on a North Island on volcanic soils, about 120,000-year-old volcanic soils in this dark, damp, shady forest. It's wintertime here. It's about June 2nd or 3rd. We're going to go inspect the mushroom diversity here, maybe some of the plant diversity too. Yeah, Libocedrus plumosa. What do you think about that?
This is awesome. I have never seen a Libocedrus before.
You ain't never seen a Libocedrus before?
I'm really happy to know the name of this, not just the genus, but the species epithet. It is really, really cool.
Also get Bidwillii down there. 4 species in the genus, 2 here and 2 in New Caledonia. Relics of Gondwana. Look at that. What a gorgeous, it's so fern-like, but it's technically related to a thuya, to what we call arborvitae in the Northern Hemisphere, as well as juniper, redwood, cypresses, etc. Oh, you put your sandwich, that was you. I was wrong. Okay, this is Clitocybe nebularis. And tell me about this. Is it mycorrhizal? Or is it just eating a duff?
I think it might be saprotrophic, but Clitocybe is like a big genus. It's kind of hard to tell for sure. These things are pretty big, robust Clitocybe. We see them all the time in the United States as well.
You see those gills real nice. Let's get a nice money shot of those.
They got
gills.
white spores, decurrent gills running down the stem there, and they have a little bit of an unpleasant odor. Clitocybe nebularis. Nebula refers to clouds, so it has a cloudy color.
Nice little specimen of Psilocybe weraroa. A wild native Psilocybe with a cap that doesn't open. It's Secotioid Psilocybe, looking like a little white pearl on a forest floor, growing beneath some ferns in this damp and shady forest. A mushroom with a cap that doesn't open. What are the adaptive benefits of that? Yeah, you can see it's literally growing on a Cyathea stem, on a tree fern stem. God, if I saw that, I would not think Psilocybe. We're going to split it open, see what's going on. Oh, looks like the slugs have been getting onto it, which interestingly enough is one of the thought to be one of the adaptations to not opening. Keep those spores inside so that a slug will eat them when it eats the fungus and end up shitting them out. Go.
You see the mycelium on the backside of this thick rhizomorphic mycelium going all up and down through this tree fern.
It really loves that Cyathea, huh?
Really does.
God, that is so weird. That's such a weird mushroom. It's so cool. Should we split it open or what?
Yeah.
We don't want to understate the importance of Cyathea, of the tree ferns. You can see there's albida, the silver one. And then that, I can't even tell what that is. It might be albida, that might be medullaris.
They said it really likes medullaris.
There's 2 other species here too. I think there's 7 species Cyathea total, native to New Zealand. You got your black velvet set up?
Yep, black velvet, ISO 32, aperture all the way open. We're taking 44 pictures, focus stacking. So we have a little slice, 44 photos, and each photo is a little slice of the final image. So we'll be able to combine those together with a photo stacking software and get a really high quality final image. So I'm going to make a cross section, and to do this I'm going to open up a brand new feather razor blade. These are the double-edged razor blades that I slice in half. Feather is the sharpest brand. And so I will just very carefully just cut it right in the middle. This will make a much cleaner cut than a pocket knife or something like that would.
Oh yeah.
There it is. Pretty cool.
You even see gills in there?
Yeah, the gills are all wrinkled up over in there.
So they just kind of degrade and then release the spores. I mean, you can barely even see them really.
Yeah, they definitely are hanging on to the spores.
See, it's so important to have stuff labeled, which they do. Fuchsia excordicata. Okay? New Zealand has 2 species, maybe 2 or 3 species of fuchsia, and they're all tree-sized, which is remarkable because the rest of the genus is in the New World, the North and South America, primarily Central America. Fuchsias tend to be higher elevation cloud forest trees and shrubs, kind of like large shrubs. Most of them are hummingbird pollinated. Of course, the fuchsia that's native here isn't going to be blooming now since it's winter, but I just want you to know it's here because it's a pretty weird biogeographical disjunction, como se dice nice. This one, see, Litsea calicaris, which is Lauraceae. The genus Litsea is in the bay tree family, avocado family, Lauraceae. Another large tree. Valvate anthers. So I know being in Laurasia, that's got valvate anthers. When it does bloom, the flowers will have little valves that open to release the pollen. Look at all the fruits all over the ground, all right?
Yeah,
all
dude.
of them empty. But that's hilarious. So reportedly they ferment up on the trees and the birds will drink them and get hammered.
Yeah.
You end up with birds getting drunk up there. Okay, let's talk about this. We got a Ganoderma here, huh?
Yeah, this is Ganoderma. You can see that the top is not shiny. In half of them, you got really shiny tops, like a lacquered red. This one's real dull, so that means this is subgenus Elfvingia in the Ganoderma applanatum group. And the cool thing about this is they have a very white poroid underside. And if you touch it, it stains dark brown. So you can write a little design on here. And you can see it, you get a really nice dark design. Now, we're just going to leave this here. And that means that it's going to be like nature's Etch-a-Sketches. This pore layer grows. It'll just grow more pores where I scratched it. And this will be completely white, like I didn't do anything in just a couple weeks.
Okay, so we're going to talk about foraging laws in New Zealand. Let's explain them. It's illegal to forage plants or fungi on Department of Conservation land, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. My name's Lucas Blackler, and I've lived in New Zealand my whole life. I come from the Bay of Plenty. This is my friend Uanuku Mararatonga, and his family's been gathering rongoa from this reserve for several years. And at present, the Department of Conservation does not have a sustainable foraging framework. We can hunt, we can fish, but we cannot legally gather plants and mushrooms from their land. And, you know, it begs to question, how is it all still here if it was still here before we came and they were collecting it sustainably? We don't have any information on such a framework.
So they got these policies that kind of are meant to protect it, but it's kind of a weird form of protecting it because it means people can't enjoy it, and if people can't enjoy it, they're not going to know it's there or be able to give a shit when someone comes for it, develop it, and turn it into a fucking parking lot.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's like, you know, strict kids create strict parents. And I mean, by preventing people from collecting these things and learning about them, essentially people go 5 times as hard without the sustainability knowledge required.
Right, so it'd be easy. I mean, it would make more sense to maybe regulate it in some way, but rather than just strict banning it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, MPI, Ministry of Primary Industries in New Zealand, they have laws regarding undersized fish. For example, if we, you know, drafted a law where we couldn't pick unveiled mushrooms, then that would act as even a basis for such a sustainable foraging framework.
And it seems like the English colonial laws are certainly at odds with the way it's traditionally been done here for centuries, which, you know, wasn't just a strict ban. It was just a knowledgeable, practical encouragement of use.
Yeah, and also just people weren't used to coming back to the bushes after going through the urbanization of the past century, and now it's kind of lost knowledge to the main New Zealand and Māori base. So
there was a disconnection that happened, and it's kind of hard to get people to reconnect.
yeah, definitely.
Or Psilocybe, weraroa. Oh, look, you got a little pin. Looks like it's got a hole in it already. This thing's quite common. And again, it looks like it's on a Cyathea frond. Look at these little dainty bastards. They're massive. I mean, they're massive for the cap size. Look at that. The stipe is like 40 times the height of that cap. So what is this, Alan?
This is Crinipellus. You can tell it's Crinipellus because it has this deeply striate cap margin. It's got free gill attachment, and it has a long stem that's very wiry.
It's just popping up ever. That's hilarious. Look like little glandular hairs, like little stipitate hairs on a plant, just popping out the end of a little twig. It's hilarious. Looks like a little flag. Really cool little tongue fern here. Certainly loves crawling along this branch, this downed branch. Look at the undersides too. Ah, silvery. What a fucking weird fern. The fern diversity here is insane. You can see it's just colonizing this hole. You got roots crawling over everything. Look at that. Look at the new leaves emerging. The new fronds, if you will. Look at little pink tongue coming out the ground here. Al, I must bring you this. Tell me what you think of this, okay? What's that?
That's a Clavulinopsis.
What's it doing? Trying to get its spores out there, huh?
Yeah, hymenophore is all up and down the top part of here. You see how it looks just like a little bit like a kind of white haze on there? That's all the basidia sticking out.
Where it gets more broad, basically.
Yeah. And it looks smoother right at the base. That's the sterile part.
You have a lovely hymenophore, sir. So I want you to tell me about these gliophorus you got down here.
Yeah, there's a really cool little gliophorus. They have yellow or bright yellow at the base of the stem, and then they can have just a little bit of pink tones here in the top of the cap, but mostly blue.
So what about the genus Gliophorus? How do they behave ecologically?
Oh, nobody really knows. They're sort of sapotrophic or maybe parasitic with moss. There's a little bit of moss around here, but yeah, it's hard to tell.
So you think they might be parasitizing some of these bryophytes?
That's possible, yeah. Some species do, not all of them. And it's two different species. This one over here is different. This one has this dark brown center and a very slimy cap, and then this one's only a pretty slimy cap. And it kind of looks like it has a bumpy layer of slime here, and then this one has a very smooth layer of slime.
Look at these vines, Rhizogonum scandens, which is a member of Liliales. So it's a lily. So you're just climbing up. It almost behaves like a smilax, which of course we get in North America. You can see there's the leaves. Got kind of a pinnate thing going on. Look at that massive stump, probably Dacrycarpus dacridioides, which is reportedly a very stray tree. I think that's one right there. I can't tell. Yeah, way up there. It's a very, very straight tree and was used it's one of the main trees after cowries, or cowries as they pronounce it down here. I'm going to pronounce it however I want though, so just settle down. One of the main trees that the English harvested, quote unquote. And so there's not that many of them left. But they come back. I mean, there's not that many old ones left. They come back pretty easily. I mean, there's seedlings everywhere. Another cool podocarp in the genus Promnopodes. 2 species in New Zealand, Ferruginea and Taxoides. Taxoides generally grows a lot larger. Look at those falcate leaves. So many cool podocarps, remnants of Gondwana. This thing is epic. Look at it. A rhizomatous spreading, looks like a selaginella. An umbrella-shaped... God damn it, that's cool. That is fucking wild, man. Such a beautiful little patchwork. Probably very rich mycelium in the duff, too. Growing beneath this other pteridophyte, this other fern. Almost looks like it could be Hymenophylaceae, too, one of the filmy ferns. But I know that decussate spreading of those scales. God, these forests are incredible, man. Look at it. Look up. Mostly broadleaves, the occasional podocarp. Very chilly. Tons of tree ferns. Ferns on everything. Tons of epiphytes. When I say very chilly, I mean compared to where I live, where it's constantly 90 degrees. This is like highs of 60. It's probably like 50 right now. 55 maybe? I don't know. That's Fahrenheit. You know, you got to convert that to Celsius, you know, good luck. You got to figure 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit to every degree Celsius. You do the math. Come on, you could do it. You're fine. That's a strand of mycelium. Look at that. God damn. Yeah, it's like a root. It's a fucking, unless it is a root that's just colonized by fungus, but god damn it. So that's not a root at all. That actually is mycelium.
Yeah, that's a big rhizomorphic mycelium.
Any idea what this is?
I have a name for it. I have to check iNaturalist or Mushroom Observer.
And it's this up here too.
Yeah, I found this in Mexico and I got sequence data for it. It was one of those sequences that I put into GenBank and it was there for years before I could figure out what it was.
I mean, that's wild. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. God damn it. Spaghetti string fungus. Look at that little Dacrycarpus seedling. Yeah, here's that species again with that incredibly strong mycelium. I tried to pull a strand off and it just pulled all the rotting fibers off of this log or Cyathea stalk, whatever that is. Looks like it might be Cyathea. What a funky little mushroom, man. Jesus. Why is it that mycelium so strong? I don't understand. Why are those hyphal strands? They feel like some sort of hard twine. Look at that. It's a liverwort. Touch my gemma cup.
Here's 3 Rickenella fibulas coming right out of this liverwort.
Rickenella fibula coming out of a liverwort. So this guy here, this is Rickenella fibula, huh?
Yeah, you can tell because if you use a hand lens, you can see tiny hairs on the stem.
And so tell me about this. Is it pretty, it's pretty common or what?
It's real common worldwide, and it only grows in moss. So here at the side of the trail is a lot of moss because there's full sun, and that's where you always see this one.
So you think, what about the liverworts too? Is it hanging out the liverworts?
I think it's ignoring the liverworts, and they just look really cool here. These things are really unique because they're in the Hominicetales order, which is where you find Phalinus and a whole bunch of polypore-looking things.
Wait, so what's this? What's going on here?
This is a Cyclocybe. So they're really close to Agrocybe, but Agrocybe has ellipsoid spores, and these have elongated pip-shaped spores.
What is this? They got like a little covering over them.
That's the partial veil. So when the mushroom's young, that covers the gills, and then as the gills mature, it drops and turns into a ring.
So is this, what's the ecology? Saprotrophic?
Yeah, it's a sapotroph. You can see a good spore print right there.
Oh yeah. But it's an edible, huh?
Yeah, real good edible. You see it in stores sometimes.
Look at that. This genus used to be in Psilocybe, but this is now in Deconica. It's got purple spores. Deconica horizontalis. You get it in Mexico too, Alan says, but you've never seen it here. But seen it on iNet here, but I don't know. Cute little bastard. Look at this Rhizogonum. See that? Massive scrambling vine. And you see my penis pump?
Yeah, it's in my backpack. You want me to pull it out?
Oh, no, it's okay. You can keep borrowing it. Ah, at the base of a cyathea, no less, yes. Have you seen my penis pump? Psilocybe weraroa, section cyanescens. This used to be in the genus Weraroa. Nobody knew it was actually a Psilocybe. Nice cyathea. It's odd. You just find them just alone by themselves, never in these clumps. Just little pearls on the forest floor. Alan, have people been cultivating this in the Pacific Northwest?
Yes, they have.
And how's it perform for them, from what you've heard?
It fruits real well on wood chip landscaping.
And do they get bigger than this? What's the maximum size?
I don't know.
I think Luke was saying golf ball size. But when you've seen pictures of that, I mean, have they been in clumps or just a single little, isolated basidiocarps or what?
Usually when I see pictures, they're just like one here, one there, kind of scattered.
It's such a hilarious little fungus. It's so weird looking. Such a weird color to it. It's got a weird pallor. Casts a strange pallor. Long rhizomorphs. Some very good spawn right there. Look, here's one that didn't even bother forming a stipe. Looks like the snails already got at it. Looks like one of those yogurt-covered raisins, you know? Except like a large one. Like a wad of gum that someone spit out on a log. But you really only seem to find it on cyathea, on the tree ferns. Look at that. Psilocybe weraroa habitat. That's it. This is pretty cool. This tiny little mycena growing on a cyathea. Check this guy out. Look at that nice green color. What do you think that is?
That's a good one. Something in the Mycena epipetygera group.
Let's put a light on it, a UV light on it, and see what it looks like.
That looks pretty cool.
Oh yeah, there you go. Look at that.
So it's a fluorescent, like this lemon yellow, kind of like yellowish green color almost. I've never seen this one before.
It loves cyathea, apparently. Look at it, like little pearls of the forest. That is hilarious. God, they're so weird looking. So cool. How does something like that evolve? What selection pressures? Really just slugs and snails? Who knows, man? So what Alan's doing right now is, is he's fluffing them up. He's basically setting them up to get all the diagnostic traits, taxonomic features and whatnot viewable in frame. And then he's going to take a photo stacked picture because this is such a notable and bizarre species. It's going to be really good to have photos for scientific reference later on.
Yeah, this will be the Wikipedia photo for this species.
Wasn't there recently a new species of Psilocybe discovered in the Sierra Nevada that somewhat looks like this?
Yeah, that one was really close to Psilocybe hopeii, which is not too distantly related, also in the cyanescens section.
But the one in Sierra wasn't quite secotioid, huh?
It looked more like a regular mushroom, but the one in the Sierra just never opened up. And that one was growing pretty high elevation about 6 weeks after the snowmelt.
This thing's almost on its way to being a puffball, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Fungal porn. Got that blue color. You can't really tell right now, but it is extremely blue. It's like a very beautiful violet blue. So you just cut it open. Just got a beautiful cross section of this that's exposed. Oh, that's nice. Look at all those compressed gills.
Yeah, that's awesome. Brand new razor blade does a really good job of getting a really sharp looking cross section.
It's such a weird fungus, man. So, Alan, if you were going to do a nice write-up for these, how would you describe them?
These are secotioids, so these are very closely related to Psilocybe cyanescens, even closer to Psilocybe subaruginosa. So they're in Psilocybe section cyanescens, and they are very potent mushrooms. Somebody would eat just about 3 or 5 of these in order to have some effects.
So these are not going for wind dispersal, obviously.
Yeah, and I think the spores can stay good a lot longer if they're just like kind of closed up, protected in that pouch.
But definitely loving the cyathea, the tree ferns. That's I think that's all we found them on. Reportedly, they're found on hardwood, decaying hardwoods too. But all we've found them on is stems of decaying cyathea, decaying tree ferns. So there's the habitat right there. Really wonderful forest. Really beautiful forest. Lovely bird calls, very calming. Who knows what species of birds those are? It's such a pleasant place. Such a pleasant habitat. Most things in section cyanescens taste like cucumbers, right?
Yeah, all psilocybes taste like cucumber, but in some sections of psilocybe, you get other tastes along with that. Like psilocybe section zapotecorum tastes like cucumber and radish, and psilocybe section cordyspore often tastes like cucumber and oil paint. This stuff in section cyanescens is just straight cucumber with no other flavors in there.
And so weraroa is most closely related to subruginosa, which also is in cyanescens, correct?
Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 species in this group, a very tight group of species. They're all extremely close in DNA sequence, and they all have the same flavor. They're all very potent.
That's a huge totara. Oh my God. What a beast. Like they got it labeled too, which I think is really important. So, people come here don't know what it is. These things they're kind of reminiscent of yews. Completely different family. God damn it, look at that. Just the canopy on these. Fantail flying around. The canopy on these is nuts. Look at that. All the astelias up there. Numerous ferns. So many goddamn epiphytes. That thing's got to be, 12 feet diameter. Look at that, beautiful Remu. Standing beneath one of these pendant bastards. Such a gorgeous tree. Look at that drooping foliage. Rather slow growing too. Bird dispersed cones. Podocarpaceae. Look at that. That looks like it's a Cordyline australis. Just looking like a giant yucca. God. Lomandroideae subfamily of Asparagaceae, the asparagus family. They lumped all these damn families they turned them into subfamilies and lumped them into a much larger Asparagaceae. It's pretty frickin' aggravating if you ask me. Reduce them to subfamily and just either way, it's a fucking impressive tree. Holy hell. There's a nice young Remu. And it's a sister taxon Dacrycarpus, the Critioides. Look how the needles, the leaves just emanate from the new stems. They almost look like lichen. But those are the actual leaves of the tree, which again can reach heights. It's New Zealand's tallest tree. The tallest tree in New Zealand is one of those, like a hecatea. Look at all the mycenas on that totara, huh? That's hilarious. Wonder what they're eating, just the bark or what?
Yeah, they're on the bark.
Look at that, see that? Oh, there's a donkey in pain somewhere. See that? It's not a yucca, it's cordyline, Cordyline australis. Same family as yucca. It should just be same order, but not same family. Asparagus family, but a different subfamily. Lomandra. Lomandroides subfamily, the Lomandra subfamily. Well, you know, we're losing light. It's winter, so sun goes down about 5 p.m. But, it's such a great forest. It's such a great place to be. The fern diversity is insane here, too. I mean, I haven't even been able to log everything. There's so much. Lots of aspleniums, too. A lot of aspleniums, lots of blechnums, and a whole shit ton of cyathea. All right, well, that's all I got for you this evening. It's getting kind of chilly. I have to get back in a van and do some driving. Have a good rest of your evening. Go fuck yourself. Bye.